5 best travel movies of all time. All cinema is a journey when the viewer travels into a world separate from their own. We want to be transposed, transformed, and changed. Some films are more literal in this form, and travel films have been popular for many decades. The opportunity to travel with characters we care about on their travels is welcomed, and the best travel films make us care about the journey and the people on it. There have been wonderful travel novels that just haven't transferred successfully onto the big screen. Jack Kerouac's generation-defining On the Road led only to the distinctly middling adaptation from Walter Salles, who did better with another effort which features on this list. When done right though, travel films are intoxicating, immersive and powerful. This list offers the 5 best examples of the genre spanning continents and eras. 5. Easy Rider, an iconic travel film and an iconic new Hollywood film. Easy Rider is nationally important, a remarkable counterculture picture that captures some of the spirit of the time. It astoundingly made $40 million on a budget of just $300,000 and helped spark a new streak of independent filmmaking in America from 1969. The film follows 2 bikers played by Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper, also the director, as they travel through the American Southwest. They live in hippie communes, smoke a lot of marijuana, and take acid trips. These themes captured the imaginations of the youth generation and became one of their touchstones. The stories of the shooting of the film have entered into legend, a chaotic time of drugs and fighting. They were crazy people making crazy films. The soundtrack is excellent, full of classics by the Byrds, Steppenwolf, and Jimi Hendrix from the time. As these bikers drive through the stunning beauty of this area of America, the rock music is a perfect supplement to their travails. 4. Before Sunrise, the first part of one of the greatest cinema trilogies of all time. Before Sunrise is a romantic tale of young lovers done correctly. Richard Linklater never lets the narrative sink into soapy sentimentality, and the romance between Jesse, played by Ethan Hawke, and Celine, played by Julie Delpy, feels truly developed and real. They meet randomly on a train in Austria, where they start talking and immediately enjoy each other's company. Jesse then boldly suggests that Celine cancels her trip back to Paris and spend the day with him in Vienna before he flies back to America. It's a decidedly minimalistic film, reflecting the hesitancy of the early stages of love, as Jesse and Celine are working each other into small conversations and stolen glances. Linklater also does well to not make the narrative grander than it needs to be. There are no big reveals, no betrayals, no melodrama, just pure talking. It is an incredibly relatable film. The conversations and experience are familiar to anyone who has experienced raw excitement of finding love in your 20s. Vienna never takes precedence, not presented as a travelogue, but rather serving as a lovely backdrop to Jesse and Celine's tale. They meet poets, fortune tellers, they ride a Ferris wheel and drink wine in the park. They experience Vienna in their own way, finding small moments of the real city. Before Sunrise showcased again Linklater's remarkable ability to capture ordinary lives and make them incredibly insightful and meaningful. It's a testament to this that what is essentially a boy meets girl film can feel so profound and realistic, and the reason why audiences needed to find out more about these characters lives in later films. 3. The Darjeeling Unlimited. Wes Anderson's road film, the wonderfully cast Owen Wilson, Adrian Brody, and Jason Schwartzman play 3 brothers traveling through India in an attempt to reconnect with each other. It could easily, dangerously become a patronizing tale of white Americans using an exotic land to heal themselves. But Anderson is too wise for this, and his film subverts this remedy for self-actualization. The brothers want to find transcendence, find spirituality, but they are sadly too absorbed in their own personal lives to achieve this. Seeking enlightenment, they only find frustration. This film isn't Eat, Pray, Love. The local people too are treated like humans, with respect and never veer too much into stereotypes. It's definitely a Wes Anderson production, full of his intricate design and style, but he also allows India and its beauty to influence his shots. A local crew was predominantly used and much was shot on location. It also holds his unusual themes of lost dreams and broken families, just done in a different setting. For such a strikingly consistent filmmaker, the Darjeeling Limited sees Anderson create a disarmingly nice work, both familiar and unfamiliar. 2. The Motorcycle Diaries. A biopic of an early journey Ernesto Che Guevara took through South America years before he rose to prominence as an iconic guerrilla fighter in Cuba and beyond. The Motorcycle Diaries is both a road film and a coming-of-age one. This 1952 trip with his friend Alberto Granado would be life-affirming and future-defining for Guerra. He became transformed by the impoverishment he witnessed through the continent and the injustice routinely faced by the poor people of these lands. It is based mostly on Guerra's written memoir of the actual journey, and Walter Salles directs faithfully. He structured it in an inspirational form, the seeds of discovery for Guerra that would flourish into his later radicalization and political fighting. He may not be Che yet, but this film shows that he is well on his way to getting there. The film does not overtly judge his politics, but merely wants to show that his revolutionary streak was guided in the beginning of real feelings of care and sympathy. The Guerra of the film and time transcends politics and controversy. 1. Into the Wild. Coming from the somewhat surprising Sean Penn, Into the Wild is a film adaptation of one of travel's most striking and somber tales. Based on John Quechquar's non-fiction book of the same name, it tells the journey of Christopher McCandless to the depth of the Alaskan wilderness in the early 1990s. Like anyone who has read Thoreau Walden, his story and his film will inspire a longing and urge to escape to the wilderness of your own, to a log cabin in the middle of nowhere. McCandless's story also comes with a needed warning, given the tragedy which ultimately befell him. Poor decisions and naivety led him to dying of starvation. This film evokes morbid fascination, and even if one didn't know the story previously, one can guess where the film is heading. Penn wisely sticks mostly faithfully to the source material, showing the numerous people he encountered on his journey that Quechquar was able to track down himself. The film is a serious and depressing tale of a man ruined by his uncompromising nature. We all may dream of living a life like McCandless's, Penn and Quechquar say, but it should remain a dream for all but those who are ready for it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.